was invited to be the poet that represents the United States at this thing called the European World Cup of Poetry Slam in Paris, France, where 16 poets descend on the city, the champion of each nation. And you speak in your own language, your host language. So I had to speak in English. I threw in a little Spanish. And the words scroll behind you in French for the French audience that's judging you. And I was lucky enough to win that too. So we have the World Cup, not the World Cup, the big soccer World Cup. We have the little World Cup, the one for poetry. It's on my piano. And it belongs to you guys. I won it for you guys, so it's yours. So whenever you want to come over and check it out, just let me know you're coming. You let me know you're coming before, and I'll make guacamole. I make some damn good guacamole. We can eat guacamole out of the World Cup. But I really wanted to make my countrymen, I wanted to make you all proud when I went into this competition. So I spent a lot of time rehearsing poems in my living room. And I remember when I was rehearsing, my beautiful, beautiful Puerto Rican wife who hates poetry, she looked up from her magazine as I was rehearsing, just long enough to say, you know, your shit is so serious. Why don't you write me a love poem? Ooh, that would be so much fun for you. Why don't you write me a love poem, baby? So I answered her in the parlance, the style of the 9th grade students that I spent all day teaching this way. Shit, I don't know! If you know anything about Puerto Rican women, and I'm talking like a real, like she was born on the island and then moved here. If you know anything about Puerto Rican women, you know she did not accept that shit as an answer. So I had to write her a love poem. So now this doesn't sound like a love poem, but trust me, by the time we get to the end of it, Braziers, no, boxers just might be thrown to the stage, but don't throw the boxers or Braziers to the stage. I want to be invited back next year. But this one's for the lovers. And I see you out there. I can see you out there in the audience. I know who you are. Free to lean into each other. This is called Sliding Doors, Frogs, and How We Love Each Other. It rained once. In the little town we lived in for 12 days straight, off and on, but mostly at night. I think we love each other this way, boo. Off and on, but mostly at night. On the 12th night of rain, the woman that I love stepped into the Eckerd's drugstore to buy 2C batteries and 2Z batteries for the emergency flashlight and the backup emergency flashlight. As I pulled to the store, get out of my car, about when it rained, ding, the automatic doors like those welcoming me into this safe haven. So I ponder automatic doors for a moment. Are they a reflection of our genius or our stupidity? I quickly find the battery aisle 4, but after I have it in my hands, I realize, shit. Power outages, like some kinds of love, are only temporary. And what the woman that I love and I really need is Dr. Pepper and Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. So I put down the batteries and head to aisle 12. For the sake of candy and hope. For the sake of soda and necessity. For the sake of all sweet-tasting things and love. As I'm about to purchase these items, the power goes out in the Eckerd's drugstore. Joe, the 300-pound clerk, reaches for his emergency flashlight, turns it on, and glows like a tiny beacon of hope in the storm. I think we love each other this way, boo. Like tiny beacons of hope in the storm. He says to me, if you want to leave the car, you can take the soda and candy, that's fine. What the? Mesmerized by how much he sounds like Keanu. I tell him, all I have is a debit card. He apologizes for the inconvenience, and I turn to leave, realizing quickly that I cannot budge the doors. Even Joe, with his 300 pounds of leverage, cannot budge the door, forced to wait it out. After 1 hour, my mind begins to wander. What if the storm never lets up? I think we love each other this way, boo, like storms that never let up. What if the storm's eternal mirage forces me to spend the remainder of my days in the Eckerd's drugstore with Joe, the 300-pound clerk? What a wonderful place to be stranded. All the Dr. Pepper and Reese's Peanut Butter Cups I could ever eat, aisle 12. All the hand sanitizer and shampoo I could ever use, aisle 9. But I am not the kind of man who can live without love, I think to myself as I stare into the deep blue eyes of Joe, the 300-pound clerk. Damn. Because because unfortunately, I am not gay. However, I read once of an unusual species of frog. If two male members of this species are left in isolation long enough, one of them will spontaneously change sex into a female. I wonder which one of us will spontaneously change. And in my mind's eye, I begin to put delicately cupped breasts, long flowing hair, and dark red lipstick on Joe, the 300-pound clerk, like a thick, twisted version of Mr. Potato. Should I say Mrs. Potato Head? And I realize quickly that I hope it's me that changes into a woman. Yes, the thought of Joe being inside of me is unpleasant, but not as unpleasant as for me being inside of... Oh my God! My menstrual cramps. How bad will my menstrual cramps be? Thank God for aisle 7. All the Tylenol, even Mine, they're all 70. At this exact moment, the power comes back up in the Atkins drugstore, and I turn to leave, realizing quickly that I can never look at Joe, the 300-pound clerk, the same way again. Moral. The only thing that makes sense in this crazy world that we live in is love. And automatic doors are stupid.